One must go back to the election of 1828 to find anything in American history reminiscent of the choice to elect Trump. Back then, the political outsider Andrew Jackson pulled a solid win over the political insider and Washington inbreed John Quincy Adams. This was perhaps the first time in history that a people democratically elected a leader whom the political establishment all agreed to despise. Jackson also accused the political electoral system of being rigged. Incidentally, he was also way more politically incorrect than Donald Trump has ever been, even when Trump has been at his worst. Jackson was a huge supporter of slavery, an arch-racist, known for his brutal behaviour against Native Americans. He invaded Florida on its own initiative and had 2 British civilians executed. He was also involved in several gunfights and had, until the day of his death, lived with an opponent's projectile nested close to his spine. His followers were very much deemed deplorables, smelly frontier men with dirty boots, hunting rifles strung over their shoulders, and a smelly raccoon skin hat on their heads. They belched and spat and talked foul. Jackson was called Jackass by his opponents, and in what was one of the dirty and animosity-driven election cycles in US history. When he moved into the White House, a large pack of his followers accompanied him and threw a party. With their dirty boots up in the fine furniture, they smashed the china and ground cheese and urine into the carpets. The party escalated with threats of violence, to the point where Jackson had to jump out of the window to escape. It was a mob scene, spiralling out of control, and only the promise of free booze could calm them down. So basically like a night of drinking in Copenhagen. Jackson's opponents firmly believed that the nation's doom was imminent. His campaign had been staunchly anti-Washington. He wanted the central bank closed down, and a ban on politicians interfering in the lives of ordinary people in the new territories. On the bright side, when historians today make rankings of the top US presidents, Jackson is always ranked among the best. Not that there is much reason to believe that the same will happen for Trump, but it provides a little hope. Nor is it new that all the experts are wrong. The last election whose outcome was as surprising as 2016 was the 1948 election between Truman and Dewey. During the campaign, Truman's odds of winning amongst bookmakers were 15-1, and in some places even 30-1. 65% of the country's newspapers had taken sides against Truman and endorsed his opponent, including the vast majority of major newspapers. The last Gallup poll showed Dewey in the lead with 49.5% against Truman's 44.5%. Newsweek did a survey among the 50 most recognised political experts of the time. Every single one said Dewey would win. Chicago Daily Tribune was so convinced that they let a front-page article with the heading, "Dewey defeats Truman," go to press before the election was even decided. All the experts believed in a landslide victory for Dewey, but all the experts were wrong. Truman won with 303 electoral votes. He's incidentally also considered one of the best presidents in history.